Happy Wednesday evening, guys. Peter Birch from Talking HealthTech here. We've got another live stream session. It's me, it's Aidan, the community manager from Talking HealthTech. We're both online live now on YouTube, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. So if you send a message on your social media platform, if you're watching now, just as a comment to this thing, we'll be able to see it come up on this side. And hopefully we can have a bit of an engaging chat and just review the week that was in health tech. Aidan, how you going?
Good. The NRL season starts tomorrow night, Pete. So outside of health tech, there's a lot of interest around that. Do you have a team?
It depends who I'm talking to. I was born in Rockhampton, so in Queensland. So when it comes, I'm a Queenslander at heart. But then I was supporting the Rabbitohs most of my childhood as well. So yeah, it depends how things are going. But I'm not one of those diehard. This is true and blue. But it looks like you've got your gear all laid out, ready to go.
Yeah, ready for a big year. We're tipped to come last, so looking forward to that this year. Thanks to Peter's coming out during the week. That was interesting. But now we've got to get into some health tech, hey?
Yeah, let's do that. But if anyone did want to drop their team into the chat and let us know what they're following in terms of the NRL, get excited there. But then others might not have a particular interest in it, so let's focus on the health tech side of things. Usually what we do, if you've not joined in these, we will go through the week that was, usually using our newsletter that we send out. So if you've not seen the newsletter, you can sign up for it. If you go to talkinghealthtech.com, actually, if you go to talkinghealthtech.com/newsletter, which we created recently, you can go get it there. So, and you can subscribe, and then you keep up to date with what's going on. But we'll run through it now on screen. But what we'll do as well, for anyone that does want to let us know that they're watching, send us a message through your comments, whether you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, and we'll be able to make sure we're talking to somebody. But if you're watching the recording, that's great too. But we've still got some Talking Health Tech socks to give away. So, we've got to clear them out. And normally they're just exclusive for THT Plus members who join the community. But if anyone wants a pair of socks, we'll be giving them away to those that get a bit engaged in the conversation and the chat. And then we can kind of just decide at the end who gets a pair of socks. It's going to get cold, right? It's like we're moving out of summer and into the cooler months. So it's a practical solution as well, the pair of socks. So get engaged and let us know that you're watching.
Has the made it to Hungary yet after last night?
That is a really good point. I need to check up on that. I've had a few return to senders. So every time someone joins up as a THT Plus member on our website, we send them out a pair of socks. And so 2 have bounced return to sender, but there is another batch to go out. And I think that one of those is the one to go out to Mick from Hungary. So we'll see whether they make them all the way there. That'll be fun. Now let me just share my screen.
More than I have.
Yeah, that's right. That's sad, isn't it, when a pair of socks have traveled further than we have in 2020 and beyond. So we're looking at the newsletter here. What's going on? Obviously the summit, the autumn summit, is the big news that we're talking about. For those that don't know, by the way, look what I'm going to do. I'm even going to clear this so we can talk about the autumn summit. There we go. The autumn summit, we've got 36 speakers so far, and I think there's actually a few more that will be joining the ranks, all joining us on one day on the 23rd of March. It's a totally virtual event. We've got speakers from eHealth New South Wales, Zoran Bolovic. We've got Damien Green from eHealth Queensland. We have representatives from local health districts and PHNs and tech vendors, Professor Michael Kidd from Department of Health, Dr. Karen Price from the RACGP. I could just keep going. So you can see all their little animated faces down below. Let us know, who you're keen to see or who looks best as a cartoon character, and we can check that out. So let's just go back to the newsletter for a tick. There we are. And so, yeah, that's going to kick off on the 23rd. So you can grab your tickets over at talkinghealthtech.com/summit for that one. And if you can't make it live, then you get a copy of the recording. So it's still worth subscribing to. And if you're a member, you get to go for free. So that's kind of good.
I like the Guess Who aspect to the poster there. It looks very like Guess Who.
I'm thinking of a speaker who is wearing glasses. Oh, there's only one. Okay. Yeah.
No, there's a few. Two.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Arthur and Chris from Cubico. Oh yeah. No, three. Yep.
Three.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We can play. We should totally have a separate game of Autumn Summit. Guess Who? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a speaker who knows a lot about artificial intelligence. Okay, so Excite You, featured member of the week. Excite You joined recently. They are all focused on care planning, advanced care planning, I think palliative care, a lot in the age space, using tech to help the communication at that really important stage of life. So check those out. That's a good one. Robin said we could play Where's Wally with.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. But...
Yeah. Oh, she even said Guess Who. So there you go. Maybe she was saying the same thing. Yeah. That's cool. So let's just remove that. So Excite You. Look out for them on the podcast soon. They'll be joining. I think we're recording in April and we'll air that in May. So check that out. But they're part of the community. The HCF Catalyst program. That finishes on Friday, and so that is an accelerator program which is in its 6th year from memory. And the alumni, the reason I'm clicking onto their website is their alumni is next level. Like when you look through and look at some of the names, the people that have gone through this, Perks are a big name. Sleep Fit, I know Melissa and everyone in the team there is up to a team of 10 people now building an app. But then some of the other names that have been involved before, My Health First, Cardi Hab. These are all pretty familiar names. Care Monkey, you've been around for Ventari VR. It's a pretty decent accelerator. And of course, Cancer Aid, Episoft, some really good names to be associated with. So if you are an early stage health tech company or even a well-formed out idea, you can apply for the HCF Accelerator program, but you got to get in by the 12th of March. So check it out. Just go to, I think it's hcfcatalyst.slingshotters.com. Just Google it, HCF Catalyst program. And yeah, it's definitely worth the application process to be part of that. I think 90% of those that went through the program are still going. They're still in practice. So, that's pretty rare for an incubator program that is taking ideas at such an early stage. So definitely check that out. I can talk about the next one, but I just thought just to mix things up, Aidan, do you know much about the Health Engine announcement that came out?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I had a bit of a mind blank there.
No, that's cool.
Health Engine this week won the government award for the COVID.
Yeah, the COVID booking tool. Sorry, yeah, we both messed that up, didn't we? So that's there's a national tool to roll out the vaccine program for the COVID vaccine program across the country, and a vendor was needed to do that. So Health Engine will be the one that's chosen for that. So that's pretty big news for them. There's a fair bit of news to read about that on online too. But then we've got some other news that was in the AFR of one of our members as well.
Yeah, so Kirsty Garrett, the CEO of Doctors on Demand, has come out this week saying that they're planning to IPO. So
they're planning to IPO next year. They're planning to IPO next year, I think, or by the end of the year or something like that. So close. Or within the next year, I think that's the wording. So it's been a whirlwind last year with COVID going on. It's really boomed for the company, and we just wish them all the very best for the IPO at some point in the next year. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I find that cool that there's this talk around technologies in health tech around telehealth that have the likelihood of being successful in an IPO setting like that nowadays. So that's encouraging for the industry. I think that has the potential to happen.
Well, if you look around the world at the moment, there's several. There's a couple in Canada that's IPOing shortly onto the Toronto Stock Exchange. There's ones in America, a couple in the Middle East, some in the UK. Like, this is the time to go if you're interested in IPOing. So, yeah, they've timed it well.
Yeah, no, nice one. And then looking at we've got some other stuff happening in the community. We can talk about that in a sec, but maybe we do jump over into the industry updates within the community of Talking HealthTech. So on the Talking HealthTech website, if you were a THT Plus member, you've got access to the community. It's a forum, and we won't click on everything here because there's some really good conversations that happen. But in industry updates, that's where some interesting stuff is happening that it's worth having a chat about. And I know, Aidan, you've updated a few in here, but also we can talk about, once we go through them, we can go through some things happening in the summit as well. And so just a reminder, anyone that's watching live, let us know that you're watching, and we can send you a pair of socks. If you give us a hashtag Birch Merch, and then we'll send you out a pair of Talking HealthTech socks ready to prepare you for these cool autumn nights that are coming. So drop it in the chat, and we'll send that out to you. But we'll keep talking about what's happening in the industry. Aidan, what else has grabbed your attention here?
Well, since last time we were on the live stream, it was obviously the Royal Commission came out. Because we missed last week's live stream due to our planning of the summit. But last week was a very pivotal moment in aged care in Australia, with the Royal Commission coming back with 148 different policy points. And it'll be very interesting to see how it gets implemented in the next little while. Some of them are digital based, with the main one being electronic records being implemented by July 2022, I believe it was.
Okay.
So it's taken us 20 years to go from completely paper-based to almost fully online. So it'll be really interesting to see how they can pull it off in the next year or so. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. And it's good that we've got within the community George Margilis, who is the chair of the Aged Care Technology Industry Association, if I've got that acronym correctly, but all across the technology used within aged care, and he'll be on the show. Actually, we're recording that interview tomorrow, of all things, so that should be on the podcast in the coming weeks. So do look out for that. What else have we got going on? This one scared me. The Google AI creating its own children. I feel like that's like the next.
Isn't that an awesome new thing? You have these little robots running around.
Well, I'm a bit like it's, and so just to be clear here, this isn't like child robots, is it? It's like child algorithms, right?
Yeah,
Okay. That's less scary, or maybe, I don't know, I can't tell. Well, but explain, like, what's your take on it?
What'd you say, sorry?
I was going to say, explain it to me. What's going on? You posted this one a bit earlier today.
So I don't fully understand what's going on with it, as the details haven't been fully released, but it sounds like they've created little children off the original algorithm that they use at Google AI. Yeah. So yeah, you have these little babies growing up around with data input. It'll be interesting to see. I'd love to be in Google at the moment and seeing if they've connected it to a little hardware baby and it talks back or something.
I didn't think of that. I just like the fact that AI is creating better algorithms than humans. Like, it's this whole meta or loop concept that machines or an algorithm can do something better than humans, because the human created the algorithm. Now the algorithm's creating a new algorithm. Like, it's that if I understand that correctly, that's kind of cool, and they're making them better than what humans can. So I don't know if that's a non-technical interpretation of it, and I'd love for anyone else who's got a better perspective on it to write something in the comments and let us know. Even if you're watching the recording, that would be super duper. But that's all really interesting, and there's a lot of stuff happening in here. It looks like you'd had a few coffees and went nuts with the industry updates today, Aidan. So
yeah, well, there wasn't much going on in Australia this week apart from obviously Health Engine, Doctors on Demand, and the Royal Commission. But boy, there's been a lot going on around the world, particularly in Australia. Actually, there was a court case where the Australian court dismissed the J&J's appeal in the pelvic mesh clash. Class action. That should be class action, sorry.
Okay.
And if for those who probably may or may not know about this, J&J came out with a pelvic mesh system, which I believe it was after pregnancy. Some of these women had problems where their uteruses were coming out a little bit. And this was supposed to help with that. And they've had significant complications over time, and it's had to be pulled off the market over time. So it's nice to see that it's slowly getting sorted out now.
Interesting. I haven't been across that one, but it's
been happening for years. I don't know what the true nature of it all is, but it's nice to see that it is getting looked after professionally and correctly.
Yeah. I saw the news about NeuroCore as well. For anyone interested in that, it looks like they're expanding with some partnerships. We did an interview with NeuroCore ages ago on the podcast. I'm going to hazard a guess that it was around episode 40 something, but I could be way off. Just search NeuroCore on talkinghealthtech.com and you can check that out. Yeah, that's kind of pretty cool. Something also worth checking out too, or at least discussing, is in the Talking Health Tech community, we've invited the 30-something speakers that are these guys here down the bottom into the forum to have conversations about the topics that they'll be speaking at the summit, but here in the forum first. So that's kind of cool opportunity for community members. It could be individuals. So you don't have to be a company or anything to be a community member of Talking Health Tech. Just have an interest in health technology. Maybe you're working within the industry in sales, in marketing, technical, any role. And it is just a good place to be able to collaborate and learn. And so we've got this opportunity now where we've got these high profile speakers that are in here in the community and have the opportunity to engage with everyone about the topics that they'll be speaking about. So it's almost like a bit of a sneak peek about a sneak peek at what's to come at the summit on the 23rd. So some of the topics we're talking about are establishing a career in health tech. We were talking about what GPs need from the health tech industry. This thesis, not a thesis, but this, I guess, just theory to incite discussion that digital health has no right to exist unless a clinician is paid for the risk. So that's going to be Chris from Cubico and Marcus Wilson from Surgical Partners speaking about that one. About building open communities within digital health from the man that's built with everyone else, Graham Grieve, father of FHIR, built the FHIR community and everything beyond that, which has obviously been influential. And also telehealth, sustaining the change. Bern Gibbons has just recently been added to the bill as the chair for that session as well, so that'll be cool. Also, AI, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to all of them, but anything to do with AI just is fascinating. We've got some heavy hitters in terms of AI knowledge and getting stuff done within the Australian health tech community, so check that out. COVID-19 with Professor Kidd, that's going to be great. That'll finish off the day. Innovation in public health, that's where we've got, again, CEOs of eHealth New South Wales and the Director General, I think, Damien Green. Apologies, I've probably got his title wrong, but at eHealth Queensland. And also, yeah, look, there's loads more topics. I could read them all out to you, but you can see them there. Is there any particular one that you're super excited about, Aidan?
Well, this year we're doing a research year at UNSW as part of our fourth year medicine. So obviously the research and evidence in digital health will be an interesting one. But with all the cybersecurity problems going on recently in different countries, I'm particularly interested in the cybersecurity, data privacy and policy talk, especially after your bonus episode last weekend on uses in blockchain in the future. It will be a very interesting one to have a bit more of an understanding about how we can implement it in healthcare.
Yeah, and we've got a good mix of speakers in that session too. With representation from larger organizations like Telstra Health, and then smaller organizations that are like those boutique firms that are specializing in advice around privacy, security, and also like cybersecurity and also data privacy. So two quite different things, but linked. And then also the CSIRO, and also with Emma Hossack from the MSIA, CEO of the MSIA, but she's got a strong background in privacy as well as a lawyer in the past too. So, a lot of knowledgeable people talking about a really pivotable. I'm nailing all of the words today.
Mate, it must be Wednesday. Hey.
Pivotable topic that I'm not going to correct that word. So that's amazing. Look, there's so much else happening in the community. It's great to be able to see those conversations happen. Outside of that, look, I think those were the main things. Of course, the events that are coming up. There's some big events too. One that I haven't put in here, which we should definitely mention, is for those that are in Sydney, is the Australian Healthcare Week. But it goes for 2 days. I think it used to go for a week, but COVID. So I assume that's why it's going for 2 days. I could be wrong, but that's on I think the 17th and 18th of March from memory. I'll be coming along to that. It's free to attend in Sydney, so be COVID safe and do something in person. That will be great for old time's sake. And also, of course, the summit. We've talked a lot about that. Then there's the National Telehealth Summit on the 20th and 21st of April, which is an online and in-person thing. So it's a hybrid event. And that's on the 20th and 21st. I am speaking of that. I'm chairing the second day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I don't get to say anything to, I don't get to talk about a topic, but I just maybe ask questions and make sure people stay on time. So I'll get the best watch possible and make sure people stay on time. And then the 1st and 2nd of June, I am speaking at that one, the Digital Health Festival, and that's shaping up to be a pretty big event. They're planning a lot of speakers and a lot of attendees, and we've got a lot of free tickets for that too that you can take as a THC Plus member. But in fact, if anyone wanted to drop a message in here now to get a free ticket to the Digital Health Festival, I think tickets are normally $95 to $195, but anyone who writes a message in this chat now live in the session, so if you're in the recording you missed out, but just to say thank you for watching live, just say I'll have a free ticket please, or something else creative, and we'll set you up. Yeah. Anything to demonstrate that there is life at the end of this this session. That would be amazing. Especially 23 minutes in, because anyone watching 23 minutes in, even a recording, that you've done well.
Yeah, we haven't bugged them off just yet, so let's keep it moving.
Or they've forgotten about it. That's the other thing too. Yeah. They've left this running and then they've heard it in the background and now they're like, oh, you've got me. And this is why I like podcasting a lot. I do enjoy video and we're getting more used to doing these live stream sessions, but hey, we've got people who want free tickets. Awesome.
Let's go.
He's come to these sessions before too, and now I've got to be more mindful that people are watching too. So thank you, Cliff, for reminding me. We'll definitely get your ticket for that. Like the engagement stats generally on podcasts versus video. So if you're looking at the stats of engagement on video on YouTube, you've got about 17 seconds or something silly like that until people switch to something else. And I think part of that is because of YouTube, because it keeps suggesting other stuff to you. And that's just how we watch things now. If you don't get what you need in the first, little bit, then you don't, you just move on. But podcasting, like the average retention is something silly like 20 something minutes that people listen to a podcast from start to finish. So it's interesting to see the different ways that platforms can be used. And we're always experimenting here on Talking Health Tech on how to best use those platforms to do something that's entertaining for you. One thing I am thinking about too actually is culling this down from being YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and just purely doing LinkedIn. We've got a good following on LinkedIn, but I think sometimes just honing in and saying that's where you find us and that's what we're going to do on a regular basis is probably going to be a good thing. So you might see us start to do these just on LinkedIn now. If you're watching on something else, now's your chance. Send us a message, like reply in this chat, and then you'll be responsible for us staying on Facebook and YouTube if you do, and we'll send you we won't send it. We'll give you access to the Digital Health Festival like we will for Cliff as well. So check that out. We're probably wrapping up. We'll wrap up at about 30 minutes, and we've got a couple of minutes to go. But we've got on the podcast this week, on the main podcast, you can, Cliff's on LinkedIn. Totally, I agree. That's the platform to do it from. I think we're mostly B2B anyway, what we do on Talking HealthTech, so that makes sense to be on LinkedIn. And I think we've got all of 12 subscribers on YouTube, so one of those 12 subscribers might be available to watch right now.
Already.
Yeah, I think so. But we've got a good following on LinkedIn, so that's fine. Tom Bosner, Pinnacle Health Group. I enjoyed that chat. We should check that out if you're into healthcare of work, like well-being in the workplace, and the work they're doing with workplaces, I think is the name of the product or solution through Pinnacle Health Group. So check that out for more information. TACMed, who is Emergisim, which is part of TACMed, all about first responder training through virtual reality. So, imagine you walk into a room and someone's got a knife sticking into their neck or something brutal, and it's like, how do you respond to said situation? And trying to put yourself in that situation, just thinking about like, oh yeah, I'd be cool. I'd like calmly wrap up their neck or something. But whereas you put yourself in a situation totally different. So that's the idea of doing these VR type desensitization. Is it desensitization? It's not really desensitization. It's just
that'd probably be it. Because you're more calm and you're more prepared for situations like that. I'd just love to know what your YouTube watch history is like, if that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Man, you can get anything on YouTube, okay? So just that's next episode. We've got Laura Simmons from TheraTrack. That came out today. It's an awesome episode about the things that she's doing with pediatric occupational therapy and the problems that she has come across as an OT herself to then solve with technology. I love those use cases of, hey, here's a founder coming up who's still in clinical practice and building some meaningful solutions. Anyone that's got the THT Plus membership gets bonus episode, gets early access to episodes that will be out on the main feed in 2 weeks. So if you want to check them out, you get the full episode with no ads. Medi Records, that's coming out that's out available for you to listen to now. This one, definitely one of my favorite episodes that have been released recently. And it's got good quality audio. They recorded on their side, we record on ours. I got excited by that. So check that out. But they were
a really good group of people up there. They're funny, those Queenslanders.
Yeah. That's you know that for real. Well, and like I said, I was born there, right, in Rockhampton.
Yeah. So was I, but we both somehow made our way down to Sydney.
Yeah, that's right. And Nick, Dr. Nick Tellis from Partridge GP, that comes out in 2 weeks on the main feed, but you can listen to it now as a THT Plus member. So go to talkinghealthday.com/THT Plus. Or actually, you can just go to www.tht.plus and that'll take you there as well. And then I did this bonus episode about blockchain, which is really just the think piece to explore the concepts of blockchain and how it might be useful within healthcare and how there still might be gaps and what the future might look like. So, yeah, that's the week really. So, we might just put it back there if there's nothing else happening in the chat. Look, I've lost a little hexagon. Is that a hexagon? No, I've lost a little.
I have to go through rewind to see when it fell off.
I know when it fell off. I tried to not respond, but then I noticed that it was cutting off here. But then now I've gone to this view, and my it's funny. You watch back these sessions each week, and I've added something new every time to the little setup behind me. So by the time we get to the summit in a couple of weeks, it'll be a full decked out studio here. So check it out.
To share the Easter eggs.
Yeah, little things, man. Just you got to pay attention. Speaking of which, our for the members, we do something called the Word of the Month, and both the February Word of the Month and the March Word of the Month are still out. So I expect the March one to be out because that hasn't been released yet. But the way it works is that if you're if you hear the Word of the Month and you're a member, so it's always a wacky word that I use, and we decide as a membership which word it'll be. And I think the word last month was wampus. So I don't even know what the word wampus means, but I managed to work it into an episode, and I had to do it without the guest knowing, or at least going, why did you say wampus, like calling it out. So it has been used and it's out there. So if you've listened to an episode and you know which one it is, you could win something if you're a THT Plus member. So yeah, there's definitely, I'm always a fan for the little Easter eggs and all the hidden gems. And I think the word of the month this month is shimmy. So yeah, check that out. If you're a THT Plus member, you've got to find it in the episodes, and you win your special prize. So do check it out if you wanted to join THT Plus and play those weirdo games that we play like that, but also stay up to date with what's happening in the Australian health tech scene. I think we're going to wrap it up, buddy. Have you got anything else before we close out?
Yeah, I've got to say so sorry to our Western Australian friends. Earlier this week, Neuroscientific Biopharmaceuticals came out with great confidence in a possible drug candidate for glaucoma, which affects so many of Australians at the moment. And it'll be very interesting to see how that goes in the future.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was a very interesting one to come out saying that they have a good confidence in what they've produced already before it's gone through trials, but we'll have to keep an eye on it now.
Excellent. Well, if you've got any news or anything to share with us, we always do get emails from anyone. Even if you're not a member, just send us an email, support@talkinghealthtech.com, something you want to share with the community or get it on the newsletter and something we can chat about in these live sessions. Always interested to chat with someone else live in these sessions too. We might be bringing on other guests, whether it's someone we've had on the podcast recently or anything else going on. So always open to suggestions. Thank you so much for joining this one, and we look forward to chatting with you next week.
See you then, guys.
Catch you later.